which is more superior?
That one.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Because you can see the cerebellum.
Yeah, and then there's something else as well.
You can see the pons.
Well, not the pons, but which part of the brain is this?
Where? Over there?
Myelencephalon.
No, that you have to get out of yeah, it is mesencephalon. You have to get out of random guess. So prosencephalon and myelencephalon are both in the random guess category. You have to definitely memorize that graphic synopsis of brain regions, but in the military sense, they bracketed the correct answer. This is like what's done by a forward artillery observer. He fires a round, and then it goes over, and then he calls for another round, and he brings it closer. Now it's bracketed the target. Then he says,
Walk it in.
yeah, that's right, and fire for effect.
Which one is superior?
So that these two, just prosencephalon and myelencephalon, bracketed the correct answer. Okay, now what are those? Yeah, they're colliculi. What is it? There's a little hole over there. What is that hole? Correct. What's this region over here? It's part of, correct. Cerebral peduncle is not sufficient enough because this is only part of the cerebral peduncle. So I give only half credit for cerebral peduncle,
So what
but
is it?
tegmentum.
Tegmentum.
Yeah. Now, what's this dark stuff over there?
Substantia nigra.
That's correct. What's this over here?
Cruciate.
Correct. What's this over here?
Fourth
Fourth
ventral.
vein.
No.
Third.
No.
No.
It begins with an I.
Ins-
I-N.
Insula.
No, that's in the telencephalon. This is mesencephalon. And besides that, the insula is solid tissue. This is a space. It's the space in between the crura cerebri. What's that called?
Interventricular.
No, not interventricular, but it is inter. On the letter after inter is a P.
Interpeduncle or something?
Yeah, interpeduncular fossa. Yeah, interpeduncular fossa. Okay, so now here, look at this. We don't see that. We're just beginning to see where the crura cerebri are appearing. So they're still attached to the internal capsule. See, so this is lower. So if you see this, this is lower than that one. Okay, but we can already see colliculi. You know we're entering the mesencephalon area. Okay, now this is a lot lower. This is an oblique cut. And the undersides of the frontal and the temporal lobes are convex like this. So if you have a section going through the brain very low down, it can result in a piece of the frontal lobe being disconnected from the rest of the section. So that's what we see over here. If it's low enough, since the underside of the frontal lobe is shaped like this, you see you're going to get a part disconnected from the rest of the brain if the section passes through over there.
Can I switch the light because the glare is
Okay,
messing up.
so we
I'll
can
just-
turn off some of the lights if the remainder is sufficient. Yeah, so that with this, there's no way of not having reflections at certain angles. So this is going to slow down taking the exam because people will have to move until they find the position where you don't get reflection. Now, that may be too dark though.
Yeah.
Is there another light for the middle?
No, not in this room. This is
Yeah,
the
it's
old,
too dark.
the old one. You'll have to put that one back on. You can try turning off the one at the other end and see if that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably the one.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Okay,
might help
now-
slightly. Now, you'll find that if you're directly above, you won't see very many reflections. But if you're off to one side, if I move this far, now I can see so many reflections that I can't see most detail. But here, directly above, I don't see the reflections. So that's what has to be done. There's no way around it. So on the big exam, I will ask for a function for the substantia nigra. And on the big, or alternatively on the big exam, I could ask what if lesioned, let's say severely. So now the function was discussed in Bio 9, and it's in that neurophysiology handout.
Produces dopamine.
Yeah, secretes dopamine. So what if lesion? What is a clinical condition produced by,
Parkinson's.
right, Parkinson's disease? A shortfall on dopamine production. produces that also. And some people, they have a late onset congenital defect where the substantia nigra just stops functioning, as they get older. It develops hypofunction and no function. So this, not only is this the lower part of the frontal lobe detached, but also the bottom of the temporal lobe is also convex. So a blade dropping through this way will result in a thin section, a piece of temporal lobe just floating around there. And then what does this say about this section, what it is actually? It's oblique. Now, I sliced these, I try to make it not oblique.
You sliced it
However,
yourself?
yeah, I sliced all of this. So I have to keep the meninges on for integrity, or the PIA on anyway, so all I can do is eyeball it, because I can't see the gyrant sulcus that clearly through the amount. So I estimate where the median sagittal plane is and whether it's perpendicular, and then cut.
What did you cut them with?
I'll tell you in 1 second.
A chef's knife?
When I cut and make the first cut, if it's a little oblique, then they all have to be oblique because all the other sections have to be parallel to the first slice. And that's why some of the ones in Haynes are also a little oblique, because he was faced by the same problem when he sliced. There's a knife called a brain knife. And it looks like a kitchen spatula, for spreading butter, or something like that, or peanut butter, except that it's extra thin and the edge is sharp all the way around. And it's kept if it's sharp enough so that if you accidentally touch your finger to it, it'll drop right in. So you have to watch it when you use a blade like this. They're very dangerous.
Quick question.
Yeah.
If these blades were to be frozen and then thawed after they're sliced, would they do damage to the different structures appear differently once it's thawed?
Not on the gross level,
Okay.
because the damage is going to be intracellular.
Okay.
However, I did slice some frozen on a bandsaw.
Okay.
It wasn't as good as using an ultra-sharp knife on an unfrozen brain. Because as you run the thing against the bandsaw blade, these things are not designed